It's the Friday Eve weather for Weather Geeks. Welcome back, everyone, to my daily online-only in-depth weather video. Most of you have watched many of these before, but if you're kind of new to this is something I do every day as kind of an outlet to get all of the information I want to get out there on TV. I've only got a few minutes to bring you your forecast, but usually there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on in the atmosphere that takes longer than 3 minutes to talk about. It's also kind of a behind-the-scenes look at some of the stuff that I look at to prepare your forecast that you see on TV every evening. All right, we're going to start out with something that's a little not weather related, but certainly interesting. Last night, a lot of reports of a fireball in the sky at about 8:30 p.m. A meteor, very bright, very quick, and this what they call a heat map shows all of the spots that a sighting occurred and was reported to the American Meteor Society, not the Meteorological Society, which is something different, but this is the American Meteor Society. And as you can see, there were several reports around northeast Ohio of seeing that fireball meteor at about 8:30. They do think that it sort of entered the atmosphere up here in parts of Ontario, and then went across Niagara Falls, and then finally dissipated in the atmosphere around the Finger Lakes region. So very bright, quick streak, green glow to it in the sky last night at about 8:30, and thank you to everyone who chimed in on my Facebook and on my Twitter feed to let me know that hey, saw something pretty interesting in the sky last night. All right, what's in the sky today? Not much other than clouds. There's precipitation around between Columbus and Mansfield. It's not reaching the ground. Around the Mahoning and Shenango valleys, we have a little bit of filtered sun here at about 2 p.m., but not much. Most of the sky is just pretty cloudy this afternoon, and after a cold and frosty start and a quick increase in clouds, that's a recipe for a cold afternoon. And right now we're a tick or two above freezing in most spots. These will be about the highs for the day. Here on December the 4th, we should be around 40 for an afternoon high, so it's a below average day for today. Pretty decent little disturbance down here across the lower Ohio Valley. This is going to miss us to the south tonight, but it will bring some, and is bringing some wet snow and mixed precipitation to southern Indiana, southern parts of Ohio, and then it's a chilly rain down in Kentucky and into West Virginia this afternoon. Elsewhere across the country, we do have our southwestern system now. Interestingly, very quickly, this is going to kind of eject out of the southwest and go into the plain states, and then eventually bring us some rain as we head into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and into the day on Saturday as well. But they're getting some needed rain again today in areas that have not seen much rain recently. This, of course, is Arizona and into parts of New Mexico. It's raining in Albuquerque, raining up towards Flagstaff and down into the Tucson area. California's had rain and a little too much of it, actually, over the last few days. They desperately need the rain. They don't want it all at one time. It seems like it's just feast or famine out there in California. Tough place to live weather-wise, California. Beautiful state, but they have had their climate hardships, that's for sure. All right, as far as temperatures this afternoon, this is about what you would expect in December. It's pretty cold in the north. It's not too bad in the south. They're pushing 80 down in Florida this afternoon, but it's no higher than the teens in parts of northern Montana and into North Dakota. All the real harsh, unusual cold is bottled up here in Canada, where it is going to stay. We have some chilly days ahead, but nothing that I would say would qualify as harsh, kind of like we had in November when it was unusually chilly and cold. All right, so let's talk about this rain coming our way starting tomorrow. Bring up the latest NAM model here. Start with a wider view. Now, the model does have kind of this junk on the simulated radar tomorrow morning, very early. I think this is actually just clouds. Really don't think that's actual legitimate precipitation in most of central and northern Ohio. This is the legitimate stuff out here. I've stopped the clock here at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. I suspect we're still dry with just a lot of clouds around at this point. This main area of precipitation will make some eastward progress in the afternoon. This is at 1 p.m. It's raining in Cincinnati, Marietta, Parkersburg, and then fast forwarding to tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Yeah, the rain is really pushing east at this point. One little wave, or moderate-looking wave, will push through late afternoon and evening tomorrow. Then the precipitation is going to try to let up in this zone through here. This zone will move in later tomorrow evening, but then I think the steadiest and heaviest of the rain will then push in on the backside of that dry slot. That'll be Saturday morning. Rainiest part of the whole stretch is likely to be Saturday morning when some of the rain could actually be on the heavy side. And I've been talking about this for a couple of days now. Here's the hot off the presses European model projected rain totals through Saturday. gives us 1.2 inches here in Youngstown. With higher amounts, the farther south you are, you might see 1.5 inches down towards East Liverpool, and then maybe even 2 inches down along the Ohio River in southeast Ohio. So healthy rainmaker. This is the European model. Here's the latest SREF rain estimates. If you're new to this, this is an ensemble model. 21 different versions of the same model. Each version has somewhat different meteorological conditions baked into it, and it helps us to kind of determine the range of possibilities, whether it be snow, temperatures, precipitation, etc. And this is the rain plume, we call it. So there's 21 lines on here. The driest member has only about 1/4 of an inch. That's kind of an outlier. The main pack of bands here starts at about 1/2 inch, even 0.6, and then goes up to 1.75 inches, with the mean being this dark line right here, and that's a little over an inch. So there's pretty good agreement for the ensemble mean on the SREF and then the European model, both projecting a little over an inch worth of rain Friday afternoon heading into Saturday. So a good rainmaker. Good thing it's not snow, or we'd be doing some serious shoveling. All right, if you've got some holiday decorations to get outside, Saturday is almost a washout. Rain's going to try to taper off in the afternoon, but still not a very nice day overall. Sunday is your day. Not exactly a warm day. It's going to be chilly, but with high pressure drifting over southeast Canada, it will be a dry day. We'll have some sun. Be a good-looking afternoon up in Cleveland for the Browns-Colts game Sunday afternoon. So we get into next week. This is when the models are still kind of playing some games on us. It doesn't have much of an implication for our weather. It does have an implication for East Coast residents, though. There may or may not be a pretty significant East Coast storm during the first half of next week, over towards New York City and Boston. GFS model, which I have here, does not really show it, but it's at odds with the European, the Canadian, some of the other modeling. So I do think there's going to be a pretty decent wet snow and rain event for coastal New England down towards the mid-Atlantic states early next week. For us, Monday's probably a dry day. Tuesday, the GFS is dry, but we're not necessarily buying what the GFS is selling here early next week. So what I do think will happen is Tuesday will feature some flurries and snow showers around parts of eastern Ohio and into western PA. All right, as far as the next 16 days worth of temperatures go, after a warm-up Sunday and Monday, I do think we cool off middle of next week, back to below average. Beyond that, I still think we're on track for a pattern that's not cold at all for the middle portions of the month. This red circle here on the right covers the 12th through the 19th. Even if this is too warm a little bit, which it might be, it might also be a little too cool a day or two in here. I could see a 50 showing up. Even if it is, say, for argument's sake, too warm, it's not going to be off by much. We're not looking at highs in the 20s during that stretch. We're not looking at a lot of opportunities for snow. If we do get some opportunities for snow and cold weather like we would expect in late December, it would come the week of Christmas, right through the 19th and 20th. This pattern is not one that's going to be ripe to produce snow events and real cold weather. So if the pattern changes, it's going to be around Christmas. Until then, it's not going to be like it was in November at all, and for a lot of us, that's music to our ears. All right, thank you for watching Weather for Weather Geeks on this Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow for the Friday edition of Weather for Weather Geeks on WFMJ.com/weather. And my weather blog, it's ericwfmj.com.